Bro, did you listen to 2Pacalypse now? Was that one of your albums? Hmm?
Nah,
Okay.
I
I
only
only
know. I only know with my homies call Trapped. Brenda's got a baby.
That's a lot for someone who didn't really bump with the album. Thank you for checking out the Boys Quarter podcast, where we are in the compound, but we don't belong in the main house. We're available, so feel free to go and check us out on all the audio platforms. But since you are here, please do click the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Let's get into this content.
But the thing is, those were songs that were released.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't
I
know
hear you.
Part Time Mother. I've tried to listen to the album, but it's really Tupac on his Black Panther
Yeah,
political stuff.
yeah, man. I got an email from Spotify saying it's been 30 years since that album, so I have a chance to buy a limited edition 2Pacalypse Now hoodie. I was like, these people are shameless. They must just send that out for every album, every time something hits 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. They just go, exclusive to Tupac listeners. You can buy this hoodie. And I almost like, okay, what's limited edition? What's going on here? I saw the design. The design was whack, bro. I was like, yo, this is all a hustle.
The maddest part is, if you're gonna give me a lip, if you're gonna hype up an anniversary of an album, it won't be Apocalypse Now.
I know, right? It's not even like one of those seminal albums that's like, nah, I got to have the Tupacalypse Now hoodie. Like, All Eyes on Me, I would get that design.
I'm not even sure it went gold.
Wow.
At the time, I'm not sure it went gold. Maybe it went gold, maybe. But
Wow.
funny because Tupac is such a massive star, but you don't realize the trajectory was not just something he climbed, you know?
Yeah.
He really had to climb. Whereas Snoop, on his breakout, was a star.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
true.
Biggie was a star on his breakout, you know? Whereas Tupac, first album, everybody was like, when is Biggie's first album dropping? When is Snoop's first album dropping? Didn't really care about Tupac's first album. He was more on the acting popular. The acting made him popular, you know? Funny enough, 5 being shot 5 times and all the drama made him a superstar.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he was paying his dues, I guess, doing background dancing and stuff for Digital Underground,
Mm.
learning all that stuff. Bro, people didn't really care about Kanye until he almost died in a car accident and tried to
Yep,
flip that into a narrative. And
yep,
50 Cent had
yep.
he had he had maybe like How to Rob and Wankster and stuff, but no one really cared about him until he got shot. So
Yeah.
maybe that's what we need to do for your career,
Well,
bro.
not necessarily for your career, but
Maybe films need
but
to
what it
just have
is,
a brush with death.
the lesson there is if there's a story, people will buy into the story, even if
Mm.
before they even buy into you. So even Tiffany Haddish, all my friends were like, I just love her story. But I was always asking them, do you think she's funny? But it didn't matter to them. No, I'm not saying she's not funny, but it didn't matter whether it wasn't or not.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
story
yeah,
compelled her to when
yeah.
people want to listen.
That's true. That's very true. To be honest, a lot of life is storytelling. Like even whether you're running a political campaign, you're starting a company, you want to, be a star or whatever it is. People care about the story a lot, and I think that's something that even when we did like the Brexit vote, I feel like the Leave campaign had a better story than Remain. Remain was like, let's stay, everything's okay, it's working, it's gonna be bad news if we leave. And Leave was like, do you remember in World War Two when we won? Yeah, we can have that feeling again.
I
Just
think
vote Leave.
I don't know. I think I hate what you're saying there, but I think we underestimated British. I think all the Leave did was appeal to the sleeping giant, basically.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's many reasons why Leave won, but what I'm saying is that one of the contributing factors was they had a much better story. You need to have a story that people want to get behind. What's the Remain story? There's no Remain story. It's
The
just seemed
remain,
like
the remain thought common sense would prevail.
exactly. They thought,
They
come
didn't
on,
really
man, we're
leave.
not gonna
Yeah,
leave.
they were not gonna leave. Yeah, and that was a lot of people's approach to the votes, though. We're not gonna leave. What's the point? You know. So, but
Yeah,
what I'm saying in terms of a career, even Chappelle, when he fell off, that story became what it was. Like, wow, the guy that lost everything, and now look. You see what I'm saying?
He didn't really fall off though. He walked
No, but he
away.
fell off though, innit? He fell off. Because that's what you say. When he fell off the, whether you like it or not. Yes, he left, but you know what I mean? He had to start again. It's not like he just walked back into the TV. This nigga was doing the chitlin circuit.
Wow.
But he was on a show with Chris Tucker, Cat, and Thingy. When did you see Chappelle doing that?
I mean,
you know, you have to holler at Thingy at Stamina. Yo, huh? Yeah, I know I've been away for a while. Listen, can I quickly get a smart strap? But he did that because he knew he was going to have to sharpen his sword again from the beginning.
Yeah.
He didn't come with arrogance, and that's why I respect him. Now, you look at someone like Chris Tucker, for instance. He can't come back to stand up because he can't humble himself enough to go to clubs and die.
I saw that he's $9 million in debt
right.
in taxes.
And I saw. I don't know. I didn't see, but my brother was telling me that he said he didn't want to do a Friday too because you know the weed and and I was thinking to myself, my nigga is acting. Like, you didn't want to portray what? People are smoking weed regardless. You know,
bruh. Do you know what it is? Right around the time you start doing them $20 million
you don't
dollar
need
movies,
Friday no more. You don't need Friday no more.
This is it. It's partly that, but also you're gonna start getting these consultants around you. You're gonna be like, look, we need to manage your image, okay?
Right,
you could be the next,
right? And you listen to that.
Yeah.
And this the truth is, yeah. If you ask anybody what Chris Tucker is known for, it's smoky.
But here's the thing, though. Here's a real good question. If you've never been wildly successful before, when you get there, are you supposed to trust the same thing you did to get you there? Or are you supposed to learn how to play accordingly at the new level which you're at? Because if you come with the same mentality, then people might say, oh, you're real and you're authentic, but you can end up making some dumb errors because you're still operating on a small level. But if you adjust to that level, people say you're no longer real and authentic. But now you know how to handle PR and media training and, you know, like picking the right movies that are going to advance your career and all these other things. Which one do you think is more important to you?
Well, the truth is, you have to know who you are.
Okay.
If you are a gimmick, for instance, where your voice is your selling point, don't try and be the deep guy because you've seen Chappelle talking about politics. Now you want to jump in that bag because you want to be taken seriously. No, bro, we liked you because you fell off a train. You see what I'm saying? Follow the fell off the train bag. I just watched The Rock in Red Notice. It was the worst film I've seen in my life. Do you think he gives a shit? He's on to the next blockbuster. Now, when he starts to say, I want to play Luis Chavez, we'll be like, my nigga, come on, dog. You ain't got that in you. And the thing is this, when you leave your spot, it gets taken in Hollywood. Will Smith lost his spot. After a couple of dud movies, he lost that heat. You're not the movie star no more. You're not bankable no more. Then the next nigga moves in. Kevin Hart took Chris Tucker's spot. Chris Tucker's era was he went to do politics. He went to start doing charity and working in Africa. Leave the Africa bag alone, dog. Leave that for energy to Africa for 50 years now. We ain't seen a light bulb yet, but that's all good in the hood.
Leave that for Akon.
My point is, you got to know who you are. Hollywood changes today you're hot, tomorrow you're saying, remember me?
Okay, so and I know a very easy answer to this, but I want to still hear your answer.
Right.
Jonah Hill does all of the teen movies, blah blah blah, and says he wants to do serious acting. He wants to work with Scorsese and does Wolf of Wall Street, and people celebrate him for it. Adam Sandler also gets a chance to reinvent himself and do a serious movie, and people actually really, you know, were quite impressed with his ability to play that character. Is there not space for Chris Tucker to be, what's going on, man? And go from that to something more deep. Let's say he had actually done it well. Let's say he actually could, let's say he got a writer in. Let's just say he got a writer in. Would you give him that leeway to become a different guy?
What you forgot to mention is you mentioned very good actors. That's what you just mentioned. You mentioned Adam Sandler. You mentioned Joe. These are good actors. Forget the comedy; they were good actors. And so the bag that Adam Sandler was doing at the time was because he was a blockbuster star. So you had to do those little nickies. But even in Waterboy, Adam Sandler's a good actor. Chris Tucker's not a great actor. He's a great character. You see what I'm saying? His movies did not rely on being an actor. So for him to go into that bag, he would have to go for the training. He would have to go and look for indie movies. He would have to go out the spotlight. Then look at Dion Cole in what's it called? In The Harder They Fall. He's been working towards that. And so now he's able to get a role in a movie, which he nailed. And so it's not a case of there's no space for that. You just have to do the training that's required, especially if you fall off. You can't rely on the fact that you were still a star.
Who has been your most interesting or like your favorite rebrand? Who do you think has done that really well? That you've actually really enjoyed?
I mean, Chappelle.
Yeah, fair play. Fair play. His early stand-up is nothing like his stand-up today.
No, but I don't even mean that though. I mean from someone who went away and by all means, to all intents and purposes, was not getting anything. He wasn't getting movies. He wasn't getting TV. So he had to figure it out. And so what he did was he hit the circuit. The one thing he knew, it's like what Chris Rock said. When he kind of lost his way, was like, I went back to the clubs and mastered the craft. And I said, I'll never leave stand-up again, because they knew that's what they were good at before. And so if you look at it, Chappelle's not done any movies. Yeah. He's not done any TV shows. He's just done literally 4 specials, because what he's great at is stand-up.
Kevin Hart said he did the same as well. Like when he booked Soul Plane or something like that, he was like deuces. He was like throwing his
it wasn't that.
Everyone in the clubs.
When he got the
the NBC show.
Yeah,
the pilot.
Show, and then they cut it on the carpet. And he went back to Philly to live with his mother, his wife's mother, and then he'll go from Philly to New York and just work on his stand-up. Yeah. And now Kevin Hart, where he's at now, he would have to go and do that again to become because everybody goes, Kevin Hart's not funny. That is completely ridiculous. The guy is very funny.
Yeah.
The problem is he's a star. It's hard. People don't understand how hard it is to put a routine together.
Funny enough, I was just watching him just before we came on air now, and he was basically saying that, you know, for him it's like this was on Breakfast Club or something like that. For him, the growth that he's got to now is that it's not always about being the best. On the come up, he always wants to be the best, but everything that goes up must come down. And when you come down, you don't have to fall. If you manage it well, you can come down in a way that is better than even when you're at the top. And it got me thinking, like, is there a graceful exit? Is there a point in which you say, do you know what? I know I've had my moment. Now I just need to figure out who I am in this new season, where maybe I'm not on every movie, or I'm not doing all the tours, because, you know, people addressed, I think it was Charlemagne that even addressed the thing about people saying, oh, you know, Kevin Hart's not funny or blah, blah, blah. But he was like, look, there was a time where that would have, like, rocked me, but now I'm in a different space. What do you think about that, man?
At first, I think all of that, I'm in a different space, is all hog shit. The truth is this. People just need to be honest. Look, man, I do a lot of stuff, okay? It's hard to commit to one wife. You can't commit. You got 3 bitches, and you got 2 wives and 4 side bitches. You can't, it's hard to maintain that relationship. Someone's going to feel neglected, okay? Even when you take her out to dinner and she's going to be like, I ain't seen you in 3 months. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can have a good night, but there's going to be little moments that's like, for fuck's sake, because you're satisfying too many things. And that's okay. It's okay. It's a bad album. And the reason why I said, it's like if Michael Jackson just woke up and said, you know, after 5 years of, you know, hit success and then going on tour, being in movies, you know, seeing the world, just being a person. And then he just comes back and says, okay, I want to do an album in the next week. He will have nothing to bring to you. It will take so much for him to find the sound. Andre 3000 said he hates being who he is, because he said, I can't even put out a song and I'm judging the song on my past success. He said he'd like to go to a bar where nobody knows his name so he can try and figure out the music. So he's not afraid to make a mistake. Yeah. Because he puts out one track, that nigga done fell off because the world is harsh.
Yeah.
That's the honest truth. It's not about I'm in a different space where that thing doesn't affect me. What do I look like telling LeBron James, you've lost your jump shot? Bitch, nigga, you never had one.
Bro, speaking of Andre 3000, did you hear his long-awaited return, his verse on the deluxe version of Donda?
Yeah.
And you heard it on Life at the Party?
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
It's a good verse.
I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was absolutely amazing, considering the fact that
his long-awaited. It was just a verse. Like everyone was like, it was just a verse.
Of course,
There's
but you know,
not much to it. It was a great verse.
of course, but you know the point is that when you leave something like that for so long, people are that it does add a lot of pressure on it, and that's exactly what he's trying to
Well,
describe.
the truth is this: you need to leave it for so long. You do.
Okay.
As an artist, you have to find yourself again. It might take you going into a brothel with 4 hookers, and you're like, "Fuck!" You see an experience, and next thing you know, you got a whole motion picture to create. Because if you're a creator, it's about experiences. And when you're young, you're experiencing a lot because you're in the game from hotel to hotel, party to party. You're saying all of that stuff. So you're getting material. But then you get older, you have family, you try other ventures, you get lazy, you know? It's like you know, Mayweather can still box, but what it takes to get match fit, it's a lot. Especially when I've been waking up in silk sheets.
It's true. That part's true.
What I'm saying is the fact that he went away for so long was beautiful. Now he has something to say to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he had something to say. That song was about his mother. So he's probably maybe never had to talk about it. We never heard him talk about his mom on the track because his mom was still alive, if I'm correct. So now he has something to say. Finally, that got something to sink my teeth in. Because more time, if you think about it, as a comedian as well, Kevin Hart Kevin Hart was one that said, the person that broke him in, he was like, look, you're a funny guy, but you're not saying anything.
Okay.
And that's the problem Kevin's having at the moment. What do I want to say? What do I have to say? You know, what do I have to say? It's hard to make fun out of, you know, when I woke up in my mansion because the comedian is always the underdog.
Yeah.
When you're on top, it's hard for people to relate to someone who's on top.
Yeah. I hear that.
So you're struggling in that space.
Yeah.
With Chappelle, he still plays the role of the underdog.
Yeah, I mean, somehow, I guess Chappelle has an interesting way of forever sort of like seeming like he's beating the odds. And I think that's important. You do kind of need some kind of, in every story, every hero story, there's some kind of adversity he has to travail. And I guess that's a big part of it. And yeah, I guess maybe when life is going too well and you're doing the success thing, it's hard to show you really travailing.
Because real comedy is in the boring things. That's where you find real comedy. Going to the station, you know, you walk into the station and I saw a woman, you know, topping up her oyster, and she, you know, when she finished, she kind of did that little extra rub, and that just joke came to me, like, you know, like you're gonna get extra coins on there if you just get a little more extra, like a little quick spin. Like, what if you did that and then a genie came out of the ticket machine? You get 3 wishes, but you can only use them on the underground. Like that's where you find talk about when you go out there, you know. And when you're Kevin Hart, you're a star. You're hanging around stars. You're going to nice restaurants. You're going to movie premieres. You're having baller parties. You're courtside at the NBA. The average person doesn't live like that. So when you're talking about, do you know how people go mad when you can talk about experience about when you used to work? When you just come in and you just hate your manager. You ever look at your manager and think to yourself, I will kill you. But this minimum wage thing, I gotta, you know, I'm not getting paid enough. You know, people relate to that stuff because that's the world they're in. That's why they go to see comedy, to laugh, especially at the things that they go through.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you watch someone like Dave Chappelle, not only does he talk about things that go on, he has wonderful stories that we can relate to. And he said that his homie that worked in Foot Locker, and they had the referee uniform and everything. You know, he has cute stories because you know he experiences and so it's Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart had that. That's what he brought into the game. His family dynamics, him being short, you know, those things gave him super comedy.
Yeah.
But now he's rich.
I mean,
so what I'm saying is, I guess the material come if I was in that position, I would try and come from how I'm rich, but I don't know what to do right now.
I hear that.
You know?
Yeah. I hear
it's
that.
Like Eddie Murphy, to come back to the stage, it's actually disrespectful.
If
Eddie Murphy came onto the stage, even the stage would be like, for real? Because it's too much. The pressure will be too much.
Yeah.
And not even needed. Can you imagine his new material now? Mariah Carey's in front and in the front. You know what I mean? All the legends are there. You're like, for new material, nigga?
Bro, how do you even like bring him on stage? You can't
Do you
just
know what I mean?
next guy coming to the stage.
Rage.
Name is
You can't reel off his credits. He was in Nanny Professor. Oh! Oh! Please welcome to the star. Eddie. Like this. Look, man, I can't do it, yo. I can't do it. Even he said, he was like, you have to understand, I have to have jokes. Listen, man, yeah, I can ride the first, woo, Eddie, woo. Listen, and after be like, woo, Eddie. And you know, people are there. You know, there's going to be people there just wanting you to die, just so they can complete their argument. I've been saying Earthquake was funnier. I've been saying Cat Williams was funnier. You're like, nigga, please.
Bro, even those ones are even still believable, bro. My niggas start telling you, yeah, Arsenio was funnier anyway. What? Brother, chill. Calm down.
You know, it's hard, man. Bro, when Arsenio came back to stand up, this nigga did a Passenger 57 reference. I said, damn. Hey, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one on earth that caught it.
But you know what it is? You know what's sad about it?
I didn't catch it like, I caught it like, what? This nigga did Passenger 57?
Do you know what must have been mad about that joke as well? He must have told his boy, I'm gonna go to the vault on this one, man. I'm gonna go pull out I got the heat. I got the heats. That's the way. Let me go pull out these jokes.
If I was going to reference a Wesley Snipes movie, it'd be Blade.
Something, man. Something.
Passenger 57. That's like referencing the Dynasty for Jay-Z. Everyone, well, it's Dynasty, nigga. You can't even do the blueprint. Like, Passenger 57, but that just shows how out of tune he was with the game. Who do you think your audience was? The grown folks.
Well, that's the thing. You know, where is the grown folks scene? Because this is something that came up recently as well with Adele, when like people trying to get her to make music for TikTok, basically, and she was like, "Yo, all those 14-year-old girls you want me to appeal to on TikTok, their mums must be listening to something. Like, I need to make music for the mums. They've been through some stuff. They need this music. I can't keep... Not everyone can cater to the 14-year-old girls on TikTok." And, you know, so in many ways, you know, these Arsenio's and so on and so forth, maybe they should be able to just, like, get back up and do a reunion tour or whatever it is with the people at their age group. Maybe they don't have to start talking about social media. Pardon?
Who said they can't?
I'm saying they can, but
I would say they can't do that.
Yeah, but what you're saying is you're mocking man for making the Passenger 57 reference.
That shows how out of touch he was with comedy. You can't do a Passenger 57 reference. You can't. Listen, I did a Linford Christie reference, and they still look at me like, who the hell is Linford Christie? And he actually won shit in England.
I know, but that's not out of touch with comedy. That's out of touch with young people.
50, right?
I don't know how old Chappelle is.
Chappelle's like 48, 49, 50. He appeals to young people.
So Chappelle could do that. Chappelle could do that. Chappelle's consistently coming up against whatever's current and so on. I'm saying Arsenio should just do the Passenger 57 reference and just basically aim at the audience who remember him first time round and are excited to see him back.
Arsenio's not known for stand-up. He's known for his TV show.
Yes, and I'm saying those fans.
Arsenio's a personality. Arsenio's a personality. So he's someone that you can write jokes for, and he can carry out an hour and it'll be fun. But he'd have to want to do that. It's not like he'd have to want to go through that, you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
You'd have to want to say, yeah, this is what I want to do. And I don't think that's what he wants. He's got enough money to just say, I'm good.
Yeah, true.
But where I would like to, get to stand up is where I have my audience. And I can just pull up and do an hour in a venue, like even if it's like 100-seater. Just what I'm saying. But I want an intimate night and just chill. When I get older, like, so it's like, you know, it's not like you're responding to texts from promoters saying, yeah, I could do a quick 20 on the. I want to be away from that.
Yeah, I hear you, man. And to be honest, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that you're going to get to a point where you want to be able to talk to your audience, and someone's going to come to you and say, maybe you should do more jokes about this. The young people like it, and you're going to be like, bun those young people. I have my audience.
To be fair, anybody who doesn't write jokes should not be telling you what to talk about. You should never listen to what anyone tells you to talk about. Talk about whatever you want. Even if it's about, if you want to talk about your dick, just talk about your dick. Just make sure when you're doing it, you have the best my dick material that's ever been displayed. Because no one knows what they want to hear. No one comes to the comedy club like, yo, I want to hear about peas today, bro. Because I've been coming there for 3 weeks. Ain't nobody spoken about peas yet. Nobody does that at the comedy club. People come generally just want to hear what you have to say, not what you think I should say.